당한 것은 지나 유다 유제 니세는 유제인데 로단 가사 니시세 지나 로데라 저기 가서 우리 니파 로데리파 예와 체바이나 아니 야 예와 니체세 아니 체마다 아니 가서 우리 체마만 로세 체메 로세 파리 니체로 셰로라 되네 아니 지사다 되네 인자 아니 체메 생이가 레스 체메 생이다 아니 체메가 예와의 양을 가서 또 셰로와 가서 디제데.
Good morning. Good morning. So last night we continued to look at the presentation on Lorig, and we saw how the Lorig is divided into division between objects and object possessors, and we looked very briefly at objects again, and we looked then at we started again to look at object possessors, that which knows an object, a functioning thing that possesses its object. And we started looking at some of the divisions, and we spent most of last night looking at awarenesses. And we came to see that awarenesses are divided, can be divided into valid cognizers and non-valid cognizers. And then valid cognizers, we saw they were further divided as well into direct and inferential. And then we came to direct perception.
Sadu milu rikpa sedu yu tangbo topi rikpa tela ne tsema la gore sa chi kan so chimi ngoro di she nan de la ya ane pa deni ge tsema de la yewa cheba ina ta ngosumi tsema dan jesu pa be tsema sa se ni she je andu ka sa du shirwa.
And we looked again briefly at the meaning last night of the definition of a valid cognizer, and that is that it's a mind, it's a consciousness that realizes its object, but refers to that first moment of realizing the object. And so that's a valid cognizer, which can be further subdivided into direct valid cognizers and inferential valid cognizers.
yu tangboro topigeda sardu milu rikbasa yu de tangboro topigene rikbatela chamares kilingandi danazu kasore di imba ane dodebada ane semzambat umarang yubati yiche diche ane jeramawaki karasane rikbayingu mare sendelia ane suguya yor ombu sujembatike chamares chamadelia ane miluwa ingores ine rikba ingu males ade jeramawa deche and tenju bigi ane yu topegi cham rikba ina ane chamare mado tangbo toba ingu males chida yu tona ane toguyena denigi di lodi chamares chida tangbo togu mar to chane gyuning mu chimba ina chamares ade that dehanro mirawara shi ko chupta susike ka sumcharo.
This definition of a valid cognizer, which is near the bottom of the second page, a new incontrovertible knower, this is not accepted by all Buddhists. So this is accepted by the three of the tenets, namely the Sautrantika or the Sutra school, the Chittamatrans, a mind-only school, and the Svatrantika Madhyamaka, the autonomous middle way school. So they accept this definition. This is their definition. Other schools, those are the Prasangika and Vaibhashika, don't accept these all three of these key terms, new, incontrovertible, and knower. So Vaibhashika say that a valid cognizer needs to be new and incontrovertible. They don't assert that it has to be a knower, because they say that the sense power, that subtle physical form, that too knows its object, or realizes its object rather. So therefore, the Vaibhashika state that the definition of a valid cognizer is a new and incontrovertible. So that is the definition of the Great Exposition School. The Prasangika Madhyamika, or the Consequence Middle Way School, they say a definition of a valid cognizer is an incontrovertible knower. It needs to be a consciousness, a knower, and it needs to realize its object incontrovertibly, which is incontrovertible. But new is not necessary, because when the object is realized in that first moment, it is still realized in the second and the third, and all of these minds, all of these consciousnesses remain valid cognizers. So they, the Prasangika, dispute the need for the term new. The Vaibhashika dispute the need for the term knower, whereas the entire definition is accepted by the Sautrantika, Chittamatrans, and Svachantikas.
나 체마들에 예와들에 원숭이 체마다 제수법의 체마 이시에 당한 원숭이 체마랍나 유코롱 젬바 세부 휴우체 도되겐데라 된지 규모고 봐체 유세부 또 체마들 원숭이 체마시거와 되네 제수법의 체마랍나 유디 도고어데 이나 된지 지나랑이야 즉 유디 마연법이 된지 지판나지 니니보다 지구지가로지 나한테 된지 유지에 유디 하고 간데라 맞아 제수법에 참아서샤 시거로 대변은 무슨 참말라도 먼저 미기 통화도 쑥 가르 통화 세고 휴통으로 되네게 통화야 돼 무슨 참아 되는 한쪽에 아직 김천제제 ben에 강비 나라야 매여방원이 마통바네 실로야 두어요 통해도 두어 김전지나 강변에 매여래 선배기 요 선배기 또배기데 세마디 제수법에 세마 니기 매데 도고어때 이나 매여바 하고고어때 이나 맞아 미기 통화나시 리자바남지 매디 세우 휴지 통고마 똑바래 되니 된지지 나한테 니 유지네 매데 도고어 되네 장 제바 세마세야디 근데 된지지의 유도 또배기 값도 된지지단 규인에 또 와제 무슨 제마디기 유도요도 된지 규모가 그런 세부 시구도 din이 개발되어서
At the bottom of the second page, we see the valid cognizers are subdivided into those which are direct and those which are inferential. And then to explain the difference last night, we said that a direct valid cognizer directly gets at its object. So its object appears to this cognizer, to this consciousness, as appears clearly. And this is because it gets to the object directly. Directly. The inferential valid cognizer, though, this does not get to its object directly, but rather via or through or by means of a generic image or a mental image or a meaning generality. So 3 synonyms. It gets to its object through this meaning generality, not directly. So that is the difference between a direct valid cognizer and an inferential valid cognizer. Both of them, being valid cognizers, are new incontrovertible knowers. So they're consciousnesses, they're both consciousnesses, they both realize the object and refers to the first moment. Then I gave an illustration last night to make this clear. Anything that one perceives directly through one's senses would be a direct valid cognizer. So whatever we see. So for example, if you see fire, then directly seeing the fire, that is a direct valid cognizer. But if you're coming home and you see smoke coming from the chimney, independent on the reason of seeing smoke, one knows there's a fire inside. But one has not seen the fire. One hasn't directly seen the fire or directly observed the fire. But you know there's a fire independent on the reason of seeing smoke. So in both illustrations, where fire is directly seen or fire is known through the reason of seeing smoke, fire itself is realized. But when fire is directly seen, that's a direct valid cognizer. Where fire is realized by means of a reason, that's an inferential valid cognizer, because fire is realized via inference or reasoning. So that then is the difference between these two divisions of valid cognizers.
and machuache yudela machuache and ko riba ingen toba dan jasin toba maingen yula machu ki riba dela longosum na gore shi.
And then we started to look last night at direct perception, so at page 3. And what is the entity of direct perception? That is explained through its definition. A knower that is non-conceptual and unmistaken. So direct perception is a knower, which means it's consciousness. It is non-conceptual and it is unmistaken. So that is the meaning of direct perception.
Wangbo del dus nemba ina phini medo le ni thong du gorwa chena denegi wangbo le gyön da de menigi medo ni thong de ni yo ma le ina ni thong go le chena di wang xie de chue xie ba cha go ra ga chue xie ba cha ga ga di wang su ma le da ga ni phini ni me na ni thong go ro chena de sa ko mi gi xie ba le de ina ya ko chue xie ba de ga de sa ko wang su ma de la ma chue xie ba in go ro.
Give an illustration then to show what a direct perception is. So if one sees an object, such as a flower, one sees a flower, so not thinking of a flower like we're doing now, but when you directly see a flower, you're seeing it via one's eye consciousness, and that eye sense power, and that eye sense consciousness is a direct perceiver. So this eye sense consciousness directly perceives the flower. That is a direct perception, which means it's a knower, I sense consciousness, it's a consciousness, so it's a knower. It is non-conceptual because it's not conceptual, it's non-conceptual, it's direct, and it is unmistaken with regard to the object, a flower. So therefore, it is a direct perceiver. That I consciousness, that I sense consciousness is a direct perceiver. If on the other hand, when looking at a flower, one presses one's eye, and that distorts one's vision, and instead of seeing just the one flower before one sees two, when in reality, in actual fact, there's only one flower, then that is still a sense consciousness, but it is now mistaken, because it's no longer perceiving a single flower when there is only one flower, but it's perceiving two. So that is no longer a direct perception, because it is mistaken and therefore doesn't fulfill the definition.
Shimi ki ko wa na shimi ki de jagor wa de ko wa de shimi ki ko be ke na we she ba de ngosum cha de re ta ka bre ya shimi ki ro ke de bu ki ro ko ha sho o de bu de ni ko ya de di na we she ba de chu she cha de ko bu ki ro ko go wa ina ko shimi ki jagor ki de bu ki ro mi bu ki ro ko ya de na we she ba de chu she cha de re che san di ngosum ma re ina ko and let's
take the example of sound. So one hears a sound, let's say a cat meow. And so one hears a cat meow, or the sound of cat meowing, and you know it's a cat, so you hear this with your sense consciousness, and that is a direct perception. And that sense consciousness, this ear sense consciousness, it's a consciousness, so it's a knower, it's non-conceptual, and it's unmistaken. But hearing that same sound and thinking, oh, that's a child, that maybe high-pitched sound, that's a little child, then that's still an ear sense consciousness, so it's a consciousness, it's non-conceptual, but it is mistaken, because one believes it's to be a child. So therefore, being mistaken is no longer a direct perceiver.
ane dode badang, ane semza madang, ane jiga gaso najuji umarangyu ba, desugi dikshika kilingo re chirwa.
Kunne lonet an der kan jag också ge en diskussion. Okay, jag sen check.
Det dikshika kilingende dode bache, semza bache, najuji umarangyu ba kilingo re che. Da su kilingo marasene jera mawagi rangring osum seade kilingo mare. ane uma tenjubugi rangring osumji kilingo mare. Da rangju uma rangju benane dedeju uma rangju ba sechiorwa. Disugi ane
konde lole ngane ta kan jag säga. Konde kan jag säga du kapor.
Ja. Det var rangring osum kemelen surelande.
Kan de Dr. Girola Yanka Tama Songrokna. Didi Shi.
The Wambung was the Yung was Najung was awesome the Shishagua. She killing Dishika killing in Jumdamavana, Su killing Goresene, Dodebug killing Gores, and the Semzambug killing Gores. Then Umaranju Benane, Najuju Umaranju Sadi killing Gores, Sema Mosumi Sema del Tishika killing Gore. Raring Mosum said, Jeramawaki killing go mare. Milimbaza, Mosum de la Obion Semada, one Obion was the Yung was Najung was Summa do Yomare, Jeramawala. Dinaji Uma Tenju began Raring was killing go mare. Kimelimbaza, Obion was Yung was Najung was Summa do Yomare. The Umaranju Banane, Dodeju Umaranjuba said, Rari killing go mare. Kimelimbaza, Telea, Obion was the Yung was Najung was said, was Summa do Yomar Consola. Also, Shiga killing Andy, Dodeba killing gore, Semtembe killing gore, the Umaranju Banane, Najuju Umaranju Badigi, and Monsum Shika killing gore, all those cabaretiers.
When direct perception is divided, it's divided into four. But not everyone accepts these four divisions. Some assert there are only three divisions of direct perceivers. So amongst the Buddhist philosophical schools, the Buddhist tenets, there's some disagreement here. So I may have misspoke last night or got it mistranslated about the who accepts and who doesn't accept in the Svatantika school. Now I'll say it correctly. I may have got it wrong last night. Okay. And the I here, of course, is the translator. So those who accept all four divisions of direct perception are the Sautrantika, or in English, the Sutra school, the Chittamatrans, or the mind-only school, and amongst the middle way school, the autonomous middle way school, or the Svatrantika Madhyamika, that is subdivided. So the one school there that accepts the all four of the divisions is the Svatrantika Yogacharya Madhyamaka, or in English, the mind only autonomous middle way school, mind only autonomous middle way school. They accept all four divisions, as do the mind-only school and the Sautrantika school, the Sutra school. So those accept all four divisions. And the autonomous division that accepts all four is the Svatrantika Yogacharya, or the mind-only autonomists. Then, those who don't accept all four, but only accept three. Firstly, the three that they accept are sense direct perceivers, mental direct perceivers, and yogic direct perceivers. What they don't accept are the self-knowers, the self-knowing direct perceivers. So who does not accept the self-knowing direct perceivers? The Vaibhashika, or the Great Exposition School, the Prasangika Madhyamaka, or the Consequence Middle Way School, and the division of the Svatrantika, the Svatrantika Sautrantika Madhyamaka. The Sutra Autonomists Middle Way School. They do not accept the self-knowing direct perceivers. So it's the Vaibhashika, the Prasangika, and the Sutra Autonomist Middle Way School, the Sautrantika, Svatrantika, Madhyamakas. So that's the correct division. Okay, I'll say the Svatrantikas again. because that was where the mistake may have been last night. The Svatrantikas who do accept self-knowers are the Svatrantika Yogacharyas, the mind-only autonomous school, and those that do not accept self-knowers are the Svatrantika Sautrantikas or the Sutra autonomous schools. Okay.
他的呢，当然这个我什么拿的，我比我什么来着啊？他以前我什么拿的，我那就我什么来的。他当不我比我什么现在跟着起来过来了呢？他这个成绩让我学过来，然后土木马因比大印度这边我不首先把来的呢戒心，也把刚些。多把当这些没出去吧，你那起来，俺呢，我比我什么来过来些，其实我比我什么见大见些的，得了我不苏建不见过来些，我不苏建不见，苏起过来些，俺那苏起来点钱，点呢俺那多把满意吧些，多把的摘心，多把满意比这个得了，俺那我比我什么来个来些。
And then last night we started to look at these four divisions, starting with the first, that of sense direct perception. So the definition is that which is produced in dependence on a physical sense power that is its own uncommon empowering condition and is a knower that is non-conceptual and unmistaken. So what's our definition in English is divided into two parts. The first part shows what's specific here to a sense-direct perceiver, and that is that it is produced in dependence on a physical sense power, which is its own uncommon empowering condition. And then the second part is the definition of direct perception. It's a consciousness that is non-conceptual and unmistaken.
미기 셰바의 수라서 통해 예예도 통해도 가르고 그러서는 코로나 다게 수치고 그래라래 수디가서 미와들이 미기 왕보세 당아서 미리디 미왕 되사기 강바로시 미리 도도쇼 니 나로야 배수 베네 셔와 나신 당와 휴쇼레스 당와 휴쇼레스 근데 데레 미왕라고 그래 진짜 데니게 셔와 나신 당와 데리야 아 저기 숙티 같이 셔긴서로 베니 직자 데네 아 저데 베네 데네 아니 디규이네 안 베니 숙티 통고고 있어라 진짜 데네 자 데라 마덴바 미기 셰바 끼투고 말다 숙 통투고 말다 미기 원바 당와 데라 마덴바 미기 숙 통투고 말다 데네 자 데네기 미기 원보 당와 데네기 숙 당와 베 데네 질이야 안 띠엔제 미기 셰바데 끼고 그래지 숙티 통고래서 그래서 원보 그런 게 다예 숙젠발에 땜바 숙젠세디레다 숙지고 그래서
데네 최고스면 디 미기 원포데 미기 남라 미기 갸플라 ken 카리송 핀파
미기 원보세네 미기 도도 리리도 도도세 니 미기 원보 되세게 강바로시
데 남라 데네 거
니 남라레 숙베 당와 슈치어레스 월다
좋죠. So let's look in the definition now at the first point in the definition. So those in the Tibetan on page 168. So this first part of the definition brings in some terms: a physical sense power and an uncommon empowering condition. So to explain what this is, let's take as an illustration an eye sense direct perceiver, or a sense direct perceiver that apprehends form. So this is from the visual consciousness. So in order to apprehend the object of a visual consciousness, which would be form, a sense power is required, an eye sense power. So this is subtle form that abides within the eyeball. So the eyeball acts as the home for this subtle form that abides within there. And so this subtle form then, to this subtle form, the object appears with great clarity. So and it's independence on this, that the consciousness, the sense direct perceiver, the eye sense direct perceiver, can perceive form. So that which is produced in dependence on a physical sense power, So in the case of an eye sense direct perceiver, this refers to a physical, a subtle form within the eye. So that is the physical sense power, and that is its uncommon empowering condition. So the empowering condition for the consciousness, which is the sense direct perceiver, the uncommon empowering condition is this physical sense power, and in the case of an eye sense direct perceiver, it is subtle form within the eyeball. And how it works is the object appears with great clarity to this subtle form, and independence on that, then the sense direct perceiver, which is a knower that is non-conceptual and unmistaken, apprehends the object, realizes the object.
Tenegi meshe de pa sha sha bana thong tu go ma zu chamo thong go ma chesa meshe de gyabdu ene meni su chamo de thong go ba chesa di na shi meshe na shin chi da de mi go ongbo sia de di be di ro bo shin sa meshe na shi tenegi ongbo de ye ba na an de la de su thong tu di ongbo de men thong tu go de meshe de la ta ba na meni su chamo chu chu de thong tu go re chesa thong go meni ha go ba de meshe de mena dan thong go ma ba me de 제가 수 참모 통위기 와시 깨두고 말어. 매시 개비 통두고 라. 디나시 먼저 미기 홍보디 유에나 될라 때는 수 통두고 돼. 미기 홍보디 매나 때는 수 통두고 매시 나신지. 저 배저 지디로 신사라.
With our human eyes, we can only really see quite coarse form, large form, very subtle, more subtle particles. We cannot directly see, but in dependence on powerful microscopes, we can see subtle form, we can see tiny particles. So what we see, what this illustrates is that without relying on something such as a powerful microscope, one cannot see tiny particles. Similarly, one cannot see anything without, or our sense consciousness cannot perceive form without relying on a sense power. So there is this relationship of dependency. If the sense power is lacking or it's has a fault, the sense consciousness cannot perceive form.
나위 shepa jatubiki nyanshi di kewa laya andina de kasore nawi ongpo se chiyo res tele ya chik ngan zuki jina miki ongpo se de ngan san sindik padiki diniki chuche tonda haku kuin tonggu na hama warwa da namyun chidan tongtu go marwa andina shin da ngan nawi ongpo se de ya di nanglo pa be jinga bakba na shin chap shu ji wongpo chi chap chiyo res di nawi ongpo di yuban dela de nga za chaku ku res sidan di mena en jabu tu ma res de di nawi ongpo se di ni shi wor di na de chikyo.
And with the other sense consciousness, that the procedure is the same. So, for example, with hearing sound, so a sense direct perceiver that hears sound, an ear sense direct perceiver, hears in ear sense direct perceiver is a knower that is non-conceptual and unmistaken, and it is able to directly perceive sound in dependence on a physical sense power that is its uncommon empowering condition. And the physical sense power for an ear sense direct perceiver resides within the ear. Again, it's subtle form to which the object sound appears clearly. So the procedure is the same. We're talking about the ear sense power and the eye sense power and the following sense direct perceiver. So the process here is the same. In terms of what the subtle form is, the form that is the physical sense power, whether this is something that scientists have found with their technology, with their powerful machinery yet or not, I really don't know. Maybe this is something that science has found, or maybe it's still something to be discovered. I don't know. But what here is being referred to is not the eyeball or something similar in the ear, but is subtle form that is found within there, that is housed within there.
sukchikores chesa diniki che ongpo suktela tene ame rod hago kon ma to diniki che ongpo de kyen shoba ne ha chinga mo da kyumo da kana hago ma le set chesa che ongpo de le ya ane chikya zugi ongpo khawars ne che ge 망셰 de che du sen tadel ba du skordi chinga de chigore shukshe roje
Kadiki kola tante ha.
Ji wongbo.
Ji wongbo de.
Ji wongbo de gawa yo sen ji chasang la kyap do yo be sen ji di ta ho ji le le wa. Ji le le ji de wongbo du su yo le sen ne. De ko de ji sang ga zong ga mo ru ji ri ne ji gi di wa sha sha ne de nga ma shi da yong le tu ma ke li ge le sin lam sa li ma na. Ji ji di ge lam sa tu sha ban lam sa ha go tu gu le ji sang ji wongbo shi yo de ji sang ji ru ha go de le ji wongbo de le de ne ro ha go ma de ji wongbo de la ma den ba ma zo ro di ha go tu ma ji sang wong di ji wongbo de da su shi wa ji su li dian gu le sa da ji xi wo wa.
Then looking at some more of these sense direct perceivers. So we've looked at that of sight and sound. So with smell, the process is exactly the same. So for consciousness to know smell, then it arises independent on its uncommon empowering condition, which is a physical sense power, and that will be found. It will be subtle form within in the nose, to which the smell appears clearly. Independence on that is a knower which is non-conceptual and unmistaken. In other words, a sense-direct perceiver perceiving smell. Taste is the same, and so taste is perceived in dependence on a physical sense power, which is found within the physical tongue. It's said not to completely surround the tongue, but be more around the sides, and therefore, where one taste something, one doesn't immediately know the taste, but it takes a few moments. Moreover, as with the other sense powers, if the sense power has a flaw in it or a fault, then there cannot be a sense consciousness perceiving the object, because the sense consciousness can only perceive the object in dependence on its uncommon empowering condition, a physical sense power.
Rekcha hago de la chawa dang and the jue dang, then the jambo dang zubos, rekcha hago and here, and dambo lu wongbo xi, lu wongbo la dinner, and the rekcha myongwi chowa de or matter, lu wongbo de la mademba, and the kiki mares. Lu wongbo said, lu chasang la cap de yores. Nagawa and the semon zedelia, and lu wongbo de yoma, semon ze. 这的来有嘛，站上呢，这的个旅游王博士有嘛，其实这的话，个那个去老婆车都呢，我这好过嘛的了，个是旅游王被吃不嘛的，什么这的个样子都下边呢，家么吃过的，就是今年这旅游王博吃完都数不吃上来吃都有的，现在假如说的，我这人家好过的，旅游王博的了，今年那人家好过的是。
And then for touch, then the sense-direct perceiver apprehending touch comes about independent on an uncommon empowering condition, which is its physical sense power. And that here is something that pervades the almost the entire body. And so this is something that really covers almost our entire body, not maybe we can say the growths on our body, such as nails and hair. Touch cannot be experienced through those, but through everywhere else. When we touch when we have contact or touch an object, we can feel that it's smooth, that it's rough, etc. And this consciousness that knows that realizes that the object is, for example, smooth, that is a direct perception, a sense direct perception. So it's a knower, it's a consciousness that's unmistaken, and it's that non-conceptual, and it can only, though, come into contact with the object in dependence on its uncommon empowering condition, which is its physical sense power.
Then korong then nawi shebigi nawi shebagi ge wongbo tela nawi wongbo tigi danya gi datu bigi nyanshi di tela ya anu de kinchigri mato shanda migi shebada ji shebada dizuki ya kinchigo ma se tumo mai bala soso rangi di mato shanda gi ma chebaro sigor tumo mai ba se di sigorda.
In this definition, we've now looked at several of the new terms. So we've looked at what is meant by physical sense power and what the physical sense power is relating to the different sense direct perceivers. And we've looked at what the empowering condition means, and that its independence on the physical sense power, that the consciousness is empowered, that it can arise, it needs that condition. So then what does this word uncommon or unique mean here? So why the word uncommon is in the definition means that a single sense, physical sense power cannot lead to any of the, or to all of the sense direct perceivers arising, but only its specific or its directly related sense direct perceiver. In other words, when the empowering condition is an I sense power, it can only result in an I sense direct perceiver. It cannot result in an ear sense direct perceiver. And so forth, so for all of them. So this is the meaning of the word uncommon. It highlights that, for example, an I sense power can only lead to an I sense direct perceiver, not a different kind of sense direct perceiver. So that's the meaning of the word uncommon.
Dadine Geshe the yu do China des Günbudo than Geshe. The yu Nangu Yobana, Sebu Shush Namayne, Nangayana, and Yudin Matovache, Tomatochi, Della Nala Mangabase. Snada Dondala, Koi Ginagi, Wombi Wonsum Ginang, Wombi Wonsum de Gosher of Javana, Dumburu Chevaina, Wombi Wonsum Chemasiada, Geshe, Nala Mangabase, Gesan Sumnala Chingore.
Now we've reviewed what we did last night. So now let's come to something new. So just below the definition of sense direct perceivers, we have their divisions. So let's look at those three now. So the first is valid cognizers. So sense direct perceivers that are valid cognizers, or valid cognizers that are sense direct perceivers. So that's the first division, and this refers to the first moment of a direct perceiver. The first moment of a sense direct perceiver is a valid cognizer. It's a valid cognizer. The second moment of a sense direct perceiver is the second division, a subsequent cognizer. So that is the difference between these first two. The first division refers to the first moment of realization. The second division refers to all subsequent moments, the second and so forth. Those are subsequent cognizers, subsequent awarenesses, subsequent knowers. So those are the first two divisions. The third division non-ascertaining awarenesses. So these refer to where sense-direct perceivers that do not ascertain the object. Sense-direct perceivers that do not ascertain their object. So this non-ascertaining awareness is translated in different ways. Can be translated as inattentive, and literally, which is a lot longer but makes the meaning clear, an awareness to which an object appears but is not ascertained. And that is exactly what a non-ascertaining awareness is. An awareness to which an object appears but is not ascertained.
That's what we do. Sema saidi, anzo deji sheba nashin, anzo su medo na ra, medo was na kawar ni chalaro ikaraton, dambo tone, dambo to hago kan wambi wasum de migi wambi wasum de, and sema she. Dene tone, Gejiniba sumba rodi, and the Gejiniba sumba rodi, and the Geshe chakore. Dambo migi wambi gube sema da Geshe said in the ship.
Is help also in also Tema Sena, also young. Okay, then the different. Okay. So again, let's just to get this clear, let's repeat a little bit. So these first two divisions of the three. So let's take an object that one sees, a flower or whatever. The first moment that one sees this object is a sense-direct perceiver, and it's a valid cognizer. So it's a sense-direct perceiver, we can call it that, or we can call it a valid cognizer. But only the very first moment of that, of knowing that object. From the very second moment onwards, those are subsequent cognizers, because they are no longer new. Okay, this one.
Dina de pejina susi wangon Geshe Tangbo la do jina suk tong migi sheba si or migi sheba ge suk kar tong ne suk tangbo ha ko ben Geshe Tangbo di ne semare on bon osmi semare senji ro chi ro da on bon sema dine iba susi wangon Geshe Niba la do jina suk tangbo tong ne dine Geshe Niba cha do dine Geshe Nibe ne gap ki da su Geshe Niba di su tong Geshe Niba di ane Geshe sa de es ko ro da din.
Then Geshe Dampo, Wampong Ngonsum Gitsema. Senator Gidu? Wampong Ngonsum Gitsema.
Wampong Ngonsum.
Dimare.
Sukzi Wampong Ngonsum Chede, Migi Sheba Chegore. The Jidane Wampong Ngonsum, Senjiru Chegoro.
Ngonsum Gitsema.
Ngonsum Gitsema, Rela Bendigo, Suzin Be Ombu Geshe Tangbo di Wampong Ngonsum Gitsema Re, Koron Senjiru.
So that very first moment of a direct perception, so for example, if we see an object such as a flower, is a valid cognizer. So that's our first division. We can also say it's a direct valid cognizer. We can also say it's a sense-direct valid cognizer. So just to say, these terms we'll come to later, they're just being introduced now. So this first division, which is the very first moment, is a valid cognizer. It's also a direct valid cognizer, and a sense-direct valid cognizer. Three different words, just drilling down to more detail. From the very second moment onwards, becomes a subsequent cognizer. And that's the second division of sense-direct perceivers.
Geshe Roshinara, Shero, Janyabu, Chile, some Chasa, the Indian Dubicablia, Dundiwa, mirror toy, and I think Tongor, in a Jalarochi, that Chile and a Tongor, in a Semeto, Chisa, Angelia, Anzuki, Tenigi, Nerapki, that could pay Idi, on some of the Chasan, but Jadil Pa Nienge, Pa Shukchabu, dining and down to do. Di Dunipa and Chick Sutro, the Medora, Chicarre Drovine, and meet the Nangor in a Tito, the Nigi, Migi Sheba Della, and Eid Passasan, Dadin Yabu, Nienche, the Ninian to be Nerapki, and Migi Sheba, Sula, so Twagi, Migi Sheba Dige, and Sheba Della, and the Garland Horsne, the Nalama Lores, Nalama Mosum Reso. One was Nalama, one was Senji.
So we're looking at the illustrations now just below the divisions. So the third illustration here relates to the non-ascertaining awarenesses that are sense-direct perceivers. And the illustration then, a sense-direct perceiver apprehending a form in the continuum of a person whose mind is especially attracted to a pleasant sound. So what this means is if one is, for example, engaged in an animated conversation, or one is really listening to some beautiful music, and one's mind is captivated by this conversation or the beautiful music, then one's eyes are open, one is seeing things, but one is not realizing what one is seeing. One is not realizing by valid cognition what one is seeing. And this is because of the strength of the ear sense direct perceiver that is hearing the sound. So whilst various objects are appearing to one's sight, they are not being realized. They are not being ascertained. So therefore it's a non-ascertaining awareness. The object appears, but is not ascertained.
지자 디니 인자는 아주 제일이야 지녀로 잠샤도 대신아 디니 년도 지 통스티 가리나서 야 디니 삼도 지니디 통통스티 가리나하고 문드는 쟁겨 말 쟁투고 지자 마전 바디 디니엘에 왕시디게 또요 말 마도 완상한자 하고 고 말 제일이야 자디냐 잠시도 내가 디니 지시 년도도 겁라 니지 통스티 가리나디 하고 마서디 지세디 쟁죠 쟁투고 말 지나디 가리 하고 마도버래 마도와디 왕시디기 마도베 기시 마도바래 마도반사 제리아 디텐투고 말 인디나신 한쪽에 지믹디 파 숙치보시 지기야 게치보시 우지 숙치마 따디베 갑라 한 셈차상 디 유딜레 미딜레 유딜레 따디베 갑라 아니야지 기시로 미기시나 안 donda kichida 고와 임발라 갈라비나 하모와를 채고디 디나라마 로 채고 엔디 젤이야 잠자도 대징하디니 따디비컬 미코 기시 시스템 갈라빈다디 갈라선 딩에 딩노 갈라선세 잔달 기티에저와 지제 디니 인자 디네갑게 자고고르데 donda디 자디 나라마와 차려서 nen고르디 don다 고토요 말에 지제 마도와시 젤레 젠두고 말어 엄피로 디로시 나라마가 세야데
So in this illustration where one is engaged in an animated conversation or listening to beautiful music, later one will be able to recall that conversation or recall that music that one has heard. But one will not be able to recall what one saw at the time because that whilst appearing, the mind didn't ascertain it. It wasn't realized by consciousness. And so this, of course, relates to all the sense perceivers, direct perceivers. So to just switch this around, if one is looking at something that one's finding very engaging and one's absorbed in what one is looking at, someone can be talking next to you, but you're not going to have much of a clue what they said. And if they say to you a moment later, what do you think about what I've said? You'll have to ask them to repeat themselves. And whilst what they were saying appeared to your consciousness, it was not ascertained, it wasn't realized by direct perception. So therefore, that is an illustration of a non-ascertaining ear sense direct perceiver.
sensiroshi dene da dene ge deshi wangbyong ngosum se delia kon yewa chebe na ngale ro da migi wangbyong ngosum nayi wangbyong ngosum nei wangbyong ngosum che wangbyong ngosum lugi wangbyong ngosum se de wangbyong ngosum dela dene ge ngale do wa pa yewa chebe de na de do yang wangon la yena se de wangbyong ngosum le yena suzi wangon jazin wangon rozin wangon reche Resi wangon seachi lagdoa, chesan sungdoa, chesan suzi wangon lane, migi wangbo se, migi wangbo ngosumna suzi wangon dana jigbare karsan digi su jingorwa. Dan jazi wangon lane nayi wangbo se dan jigbare, nayi na wangbo ngosum se dan jazi wangon dana jigbare. Da di 지진 원원세다 네 원원 네 지통외 원병 없습니다 지바차 근데 로진바다 제 원원 로진 원원라도 제 원병 없음 레진 원원세네 류기 가서 류기 원병 없음세다 어두스테 민 가가르마다 데 유기 전에 시용물이다 진짜 수지 원원 제지 원원 지지 원원 로지 원원 레자진 원원 세디 다디 다디 수지 원원 될야 예와래 체바이나 되는 거요 그래서
And then the text shows an alternative way to divide sense-direct perceivers, and this would be into 5. Sense-direct perceivers apprehending forms, sense-direct perceivers apprehending sounds, odors, tastes, and tangible objects. So this we heard, but with different words earlier on when we were starting to look at sense-direct perceivers. Because if we use the term a sense-direct perceiver apprehending form, this is just a different way of saying an eye or a visual sense-direct perceiver. And the meaning's the same. A sense-direct perceiver apprehending sound is a different way of saying an ear or an audio sense-direct perceiver, etc. And similarly, when it comes to that of tangible objects, a sense-direct perceiver apprehending tangible objects is another way of saying a physical or a body sense-direct perceiver. So this is just a different way of expressing what was mentioned in the introduction.
다데 생일을 시고 돈달 마서나 랑이 투모마 임베 다긴들 기비 미왕세데 대시 오모 수치마세드로데 미왕세오 미왕당 미기 왕보당 데네 랑게 미긴디가레스나 왕혹시디기 야 미긴지 미비기 유 믹세 유디가레스나 랑게 미긴디기 수세 수치고 그래서 제가 데메데체다 셰바 있는 기도 말해서 수신지 수치고래서 랑게 미긴디기 수라데네 개와치고 그래서 개와 강실라 또바 마인캔 마추비식 받들라 미기 오브 오슴나게 해제다.
And then the text gives illustrations of some of the sense-direct perceivers. So the first one, so we have this alternative divisions of sense-direct perceivers into 5, and now the text gives us the definitions of the first 2. So the definition of a sense-direct perceiver apprehending form, which is just another way of saying the definition of an eye sense-direct perceiver, is that which is generated independent on its own uncommon empowering condition, the eye sense power, and its observed object condition, a form. It's a knower that is a non-conceptual that is non-conceptual and unmistaken. So here we see that it's explicitly mentioning, because this is an eye sense direct perceiver, then the uncommon empowering condition is an eye sense power. Whereas the general definition for a sense direct perceiver states physical sense power. Die Körper, die Zähne, die nie Körper schämpfen würde, die Mikien sägere, denn die Zähne dampo der Gangler Mikien säsonge.
이 원부의 진실도 미게 시야 말해. 내가 투모마 다견의 규비 원부 수전발할 때는 개와 원부 수전발을 원부 기시만 미게요 말해. 나 될이야 미긴 전에 시고 다 그렇고 그래서는 원부가디 미긴 가가는 여러와 되는자 미긴 시시고 봐. 되네 인자 다디레 민 아주 미기 시바게라 미기 원부 후그래서 유수로 쉐베네 매도단 자라 가르통메네 원부의 매나 안에 미기 시바디 수 토요 미기 시바게 두 말레스 제상 그런 게 다게 미기 원부 주거래스 다 미기 원부 주여베 이나 안에 델레데 숙통그레벨라네 숙디 매나 숙통하여 말이지 제상 숙디 고고를 해서 그래 근데 매도를 통하여나 미기 원부 연나야 매도 메사게 사지들 좋아지 다 근데 매도 통하여 막아서 매도 미기요 말해 미기 매반자 미기 매도 매반자 원부 요래 돼 이네 매도 통투요 말해 다 매도 요서 사지들 좋아지 다바이네 원부의 견쇼되어 바이나 근데 매도 요래 돼 이네 미기 매도 통해 미기 시바게 두고 말해 되네 연자 매도 통해 미기 시바게 와라 미기 옹보 티하고 옹보 될라 때네 안 될라 메도리야 고구리에서 진짜 미기 메도들 미지 되니 메도 통위기 셰바드 기기리에서 미기 셰바드 기기리에서 어디 나신다 수카네시네 메도다 안에 지신다 미숙다 가르 통위네 미기 옹보 때때 될라 때네 안 디유비기 숙티 통고리에서 이니가 참고리에서
So let's look now at this term also here in the definition, observed object condition, what that means, and also talk a little bit more about the empowering condition and what that means. So the empowering condition, we saw this above in the main definition, so we're familiar with empowering condition. And here it's just in a little more detail because it's referring to one of the sense-direct perceivers, namely the eye sense-direct perceiver. So therefore the empowering condition is a physical sense power which is the eye sense power. So and that makes clear which one it relates to. So for a eye sense-direct perceiver, in order for an eye sense-direct perceiver to arise, several conditions are needed, one of which is an empowering condition, which is the eye sense power. Without, as we heard earlier, without the eye sense power, there cannot be a following eye sense direct perceiver. So that condition is required in order to have this consciousness. Moreover, a second condition is required, and that we have here as the observed object condition, a form. So what is the observed object condition? It is a form. It is the object that the sense-direct perceiver will perceive by means of the empowering condition, the eye sense power. So the example we've been using, a form will be a flower. So a form, or an illustration of a form will be a flower, and that flower is the observed object condition. It is a condition that's required for the sense-direct perceiver to come about. It's an object that is observed. So if there is no, for example, flower, there's no way we can have an eye sense-direct perceiver apprehending flower. Similarly, if there's a problem with the empowering condition, that of the eye sense power, the sense-direct perceiver cannot arise and perceiving a flower. So therefore, these two conditions are required.
미기 원벌에 때네 아니 쑥 당보 통위기 계지 당보디 미기 셰바 미기 원보 원스미 참아되지 계지 니바디 미기 원스미 아니 지시되지 되네 대시 가서 자이페 년보슈 년뒤비 갑라 되네기 안데데 쑥시 나와네 미기 원보도 쑥시 미기 셰바 원보텔라 되네 쑥시 나와돼 나와네데 마토바이나 데니기 셰바텔라 미기 원보 셰바텔라 나라마가 미기 원보 원스미야지 어디지네 미기 원보 원스미텔라 미기 원보 베네 메도로 통 메도 당보 통위기 기 통위 미기 원보 기지 당보디 참아되지 니기지 니바디 다 미기 원보 원스미 지시되지 다데 먼저 잡에 니셰니 보년디베 갑라 미레 메도지 난거데네 나나디 또마토바이나 디 원셰바디 나라마가 바세데 미기 원보텔라 다 지시
So look, independence on this definition of a sense-direct perceiver apprehending form. Let's explain the threefold divisions of sense-direct perceiver, that into valid cognizers, subsequent cognizers, and non-ascertaining awarenesses. So when there is the observed object condition of a flower, and there is the empowering condition of the eye sense power, then the in dependence on those two conditions, a eye sense direct perceiver will will realize that form, which is a flower, the observed object condition, and will do so in dependence on the empowering condition of the eye, the subtle eye form, the eye sense power. That very first moment of the eye sense direct perceiver realizing flower, that is a valid cognizer, a direct valid cognizer, a sense direct valid cognizer, all three. The second and subsequent moments of that direct perceiver are subsequent cognizers. They're no longer valid cognizers, they're now subsequent cognizers. They're no longer new. They're second and subsequent moments. Whilst one is continuing to observe this beautiful flower, if one hears someone calls one's name and one's drawn to that sound, one no longer is one realizing the flower, because now one is distracted by sound. So this flower that one is still observing is appearing to one's awareness, but is not being ascertained by one's awareness, not being realized by one's awareness. So therefore, this is an illustration of the third division of a non-ascertaining awareness, that is a sense direct perceiver.
미기 원벌에 되는 숙 담보 통해 기지 담보 체마 니바디 지시세데 우마 텐주 비게다 담보 통해 나다 기지 니바나 체마레스 지시는 말에서 미기 원벌들 미기 원벌 무슨들라 체마다 나나만 마마도 지시세데 요 말에서 그 지시 길린 거 말와 인데네자 디승고로다.
Those of the Prasangika tenant holders will accept most of what's been said here. But as we heard earlier, as we heard previously, not earlier, previously, they don't accept subsequent cognizers. They don't. Sorry, let's put it this way. They say that for a valid cognizer doesn't need to be new. That's what they say. Prasangika say that a valid cognizer does not need to be new. So therefore, they would say not only is the first moment of that sense direct perceiver apprehending form a valid cognizer, but so too are the second and subsequent moments. So therefore, Prasangika say, sense direct perceivers only have two divisions. That are valid cognizers, that are sense direct perceivers, and non-ascertaining awarenesses, that are sense direct valid cognizers. Sense direct perceivers, sorry.
나위용보다 미기용병었음 차르와다 되네 나위용보서 자진용었음라나 나위용병었음라나 된다지바다디 미기 투모마메다게 나위용보서 차야래 나위용보래 되네 안에 랑이 미긴 잘라되네 주위에 안 똑바다지 마주리바 라네 나위용병었음이 참아스 나위용었음 원병었음 차거래 랑이 투모마메다게 느기베 나위용보랑 되 안에 미긴 잘라되네 마투 똑바다지 마투 리발람나 다 데니게 셰바텔라 나나요 봉었음세 자중었음세데 도나지 바자.
In the very bottom of page 3, we have another definition, and that is of the sense direct perceiver apprehending a sound. So this, as we read through the definition, you'll see it's almost identical to the one for a sense direct perceiver apprehending a form, just changed so as to make it specific to the ear sense direct perceiver. So the definition is that which is generated in dependence on its own uncommon empowering condition, the ear sense power, and its observed object condition, a sound, and is a knower that is non-conceptual and unmistaken. So being a sense direct perceiver, it's a consciousness, so it's a knower, it's non-conceptual, and it's unmistaken. The observed object condition here, though, is sound, and the empowering condition, the sense power, is now an ear, the ear sense power. So those are the only differences. Otherwise, the procedure is the same.
준비에다 또 받아들이지 마티리 봐세네 내 내용 보고 숨어야 돼 디자인 원어서 책고래 보고 숨어야 돼.
And for the sense direct perceiver apprehending odors, or a nose sense direct perceiver, then the definition would be that which is generated in dependence on its own uncommon empowering condition, the nose sense power, and its observed object condition, smell, and is a knower that is non-conceptual and unmistaken.
니나진 다지바레 지당바 하고한디 아니 세마데체 하고네 계지 이바디 제시책으로 다야지 지지 나바이네 디 가이나 하모고 있나 디니긴 원보디 아니 제 나나마 바차르고
And it can be divided in the same three ways as before. So if we're looking at a smell direct perceiver, then the first moment of when the observed object condition of a smell is realized by the sense direct, the smell sense direct perceiver that arose in dependence on the smell sense power. That very first moment is a valid cognizer. The second and subsequent moments are subsequent cognizers. And if one becomes distracted from the smell, then that direct perceiver is now a non-ascertaining awareness.
주에 또 받을지 마트리 발람나 제원봉 숨세 로진원원세 최고래 아니 류 람나 다 유원 류원봉 숨라나 레진 봉 람나다 류원봉 숨라나 랑이 투모마이메 다긴 류원봉래电信 미유안에 제자라 되네 진비게다 또 받을지 마트리 발람나 다 로진원원세 최고래
그거는 데데데디 메케니아가 성하
미긴데 로라 되네 로 좋아죠.
네, 이니 그거는 루기 콜레성죠.
제니가 샤네.
루기
모마이메 다게 류왕. 투모마 다게 류왕을 땜바 다게 류왕체 미긴데 로라 되네 준비게 온봉었음들라 아니 로젠왕었이고. 근데 직부디 녀레디 디로와 제원보랑 다게 제원보체 미긴데 로치. 안 류왕보데 투모마 다게 류화체 미긴데 레자 레자 행한 투에 로나 레자 투에
It'll be the same then for the remaining two sense direct perceivers. So that of taste will be have a definition that which is generated in dependence on its own uncommon empowering condition. The taste sense power or the tongue sense power and its observed object condition. Taste, and is a knower and non-conceptual. And then for the body sense power, or for the sense direct perceiver apprehending tangible objects, or maybe the body sense direct perceiver, then the definition would be that which is generated in dependence on its own uncommon empowering condition, the bodily sense power, and its observed object condition, an object of touch. And is a knower and non-conceptual and unmistaken. So that's then the five different definitions of the alternative divisions of sense direct perceivers. So it is possible, having heard all of this, you think, this is a bit of a waste of time. And what is the benefit of knowing all of this?
Geshe Mushushi, Gadalamna, Manzolia, Chikama, Teddy, Gadajini Guni Ligor and Dini Ligore, Golmason, Kambalamason, Kuma Juse Goro Shorwa, Kambachinala. Go to Gubena, Deneso, Juon, Penia, Jig the Guajashan, Jin, Denegi, Kuma Juegi, Goro, Masona, Dira, Kamban Masona, go to Tuyedi. Tanganzolia, Gamma Ule Sedi, Kawan Ligors and Jine, Miyu Omboti, Zukta, Maratonche, Di Genchene, Manzola Gamma which Ligore. And Di Genchene, Manzola Digia which Ligore. Dinashin. Nayo umbo dige umbo ngosum dige de jaja mara zimbala tene ja gowal tene ndetene zamzam modu kiwo ngore zamzam 강아지 gore 동화당 강아니가 되네 리고 디나신 내요 umbo다 로다 제 류이 umbo 안 umbo ngosum desol에 tene nganzule digi dugore kanga dugore dinane mangsho rojim mi wongbo ne wongbo lu wongbo wongbo ngosum desola tene nganzulya kanga 망아래 지당 dunga로 지 망아래다 안에 디기 주야다 차상 고를 마선 조걸 마선 디술레용 거 고를 마선다
So there is actually, of course, great importance to understanding what is meant by direct perception, understanding the topic of Lorig in general. And this is because our problems and our difficulties, they come to us through our 6 doors. So if we can understand this, for example, whenever you leave your home, you secure it properly. And if you have a home with 6 doors, you need to secure all 6 of those, otherwise a thief can enter. If they're all open, or even just one of them is open, one is still vulnerable to something unwanted happening. So those 6 doors then we can relate to our differing consciousnesses. So here we're specifically referring to the 5 sense direct perceivers. And it's through these direct perceivers, or through our direct perceivers, that we experience so many problems, but we also seek happiness. So for example, if we see something, we generate a sense direct perceiver arises and we see something. And from this, conceptual consciousnesses such as unhappiness or happiness arises. Likewise with sound. If we hear something, so we hear it directly, this is an ear sense direct perceiver. Depending on what we're hearing, happiness arises, suffering arises. And so this is the same with all of these sense direct perceivers. These are doorways to either further problems and suffering, or doorways through which we pursue happiness.
나딘데 간지 생고에서네 아주게 미기 숙지 통원도 미기 담보 숙지 통원도 때 남상 디젤 양아주 숙지 집에 똑바시키고 아주게라 미기 숙 가래 통배나데 가래 통배나 남상 디젤이야 숙지 집에 똑바시키고 그래 인디나시 자지 고베네다 남상 자지 고에도 디젤이야 자지 집에 똑바시키고 그래 어디나진 디디기 디마로 하고 있는데 디마 넘고네 고여도 남산 디젤에 디심비 똑바시키 거래 디나신 나도 로로 녀도 제공 벌네 로로 하고 있는 남산 로디 짐비 똑바키야다 디나진 류레 레베와 약자데 하고 있는 남산 델레테네 아니 약자 짐비 똑바키 제가 왕부시바 리리기여도 디젤이야 디짐비 왕부시바 디 가래 통되베나 디짐비 똑바르 기고래
Resulting from our sense direct perceivers, a vast array of conceptual consciousnesses immediately arise. So for example, if we see something, then as we've heard, then this will be an eye sense direct perceiver. And following from this direct perception, this consciousness, immediately arise a vast array of conceptual consciousnesses, of thinking consciousness or thoughts. And it's the same with smell. If we smell something, then this is a nose sense direct perceiver, and immediately an array of conceptual consciousnesses follow. And the same with when we taste something, or if we touch something, or hear something. So through any of these 5 doors that lead to the arisal of a sense direct perceiver, this is immediately followed by a variety of conceptual consciousnesses or thought consciousnesses.
데네가도 미기 셰바디기 담보서 메도시 통하지 메도 데네기 메도디 담보 통화데 세마 기진이베 지시라로 하다 가지 미기 셰바 메도 도고로와 디동도 남상 똑바디 지헬 똑바디기 메도디 똑베 진베 똑바시키고 데라 전시라게 전시 전비 셰바 미기 그런 테마 말이야. 그 제시에다 또 봐디. 그래서 그런 게 미기 시바디 이니 메도드 땅모 또 사러와 또 안에 니 축제네 그 아니 메도드 징또 봐디 징고를 또 봐디 메도 또 거래. 디네 메도가 징비 또 봐텔라 제시에서 메도 하고 그 제시에 그 테마 말이야.
Let's say we're seeing this lovely flower. So as we know, we're seeing the flower, that's an eye sense direct perception. And the very first moment of when we're seeing this object, that is of the three divisions, it is a valid cognizer, or a direct valid cognizer, or a sense direct valid cognizer. That very first moment of seeing the flower. The second and subsequent moments are no longer valid cognizers, but now subsequent cognizers. And it's through the power of that subsequent cognizer that later we can recall what we have seen. So in dependence on a subsequent cognizer, memory arises. So from our subsequent cognitions, we will later be able to recall what we have perceived.
아직 가리네 자주 튀어나 제가 자진면 똑같이 제가 아니 로로 가리네 당아서 니메콜 가래 지금 저 칼라 세븐에 조로 요 어디니 조디네 용서 선배다 안자로 옹이디네 고송서야 당아서 기치디네 고송서 제야다 아니 이제라 디네 통송서야다 아니 지게 디딘 죄디네 디딘 대신 남시 죄도 세야다 장모도 세야데 디 대디 세상 전시에 똑바르디 세상 디네기 원시기 류기 안에 약자 장모 용어도 제일 양아서 어디 장모도 쓰면 장모 tembe 제시기고 그래. 근데 차와를 용어도 어디대 차와도 쓰 차와 제시기고. 세상 똑바로 제시해서 그래 똑바로. 세상도 원시기 유가래 돈에 디지도 똑바로 기고 그러다.
Vale. Tiene conta di Geshe de Geshe re.
Geshe re, tembe Geshe re. Okay.
This process is something that we have a lot of experience of. So if we perhaps we see some lovely food, and we say to our friend, "Oh, I know what that food tastes like. I've eaten it before. It's delicious." So here, in dependence on a previous taste, sense direct perception that was initially valid and then was immediately followed by subsequent cognizers, we now have a memory consciousness. So this memory consciousness of that taste is a subsequent cognizer. Likewise, if we're talking about perhaps some music, and we say, "Oh, I've heard that song." So to be able to have a memory of what one has heard comes about in dependence on having a ear sense direct perception of that, and the subsequent moment, which is no longer valid, is a subsequent cognizer, and later that is one's memory consciousness of what was said or what was sung. And then this would be the case for all of the sense direct perceivers. So one will recall the feeling of being cold, because in dependence on the tactile objects of being cold, of cold, then one is aware or recalls what it is like to be cold. And that is that memory too is a subsequent cognizer.
Are you saying that memory consciousness is a subsequent direct cognizer or a subsequent inferential cognizer?
Okay, so is a memory consciousness a subsequent direct cognizer or a subsequent inferential cognizer?
Or your conception.
So is a memory consciousness a subsequent direct cognizer or a subsequent conceptual cognizer? Yeah?
As a conceptual cognizer.
Okay. Dene Geshe sena di Geshe de. Dene Geshe de ngunsum rebe yangmena tokpa. So it's memory consciousness is a subsequent cognizer, which is a conceptual consciousness.
Right.
당한저 미기 옹보 미기 옹솜기 숙통에도 될라데네 대화 간슬리게 돼 동화 간슬리게 돼서 대지면 대솔레데네 동화레나 리게 대기 리게 돼서 셰로와 대기 대화 간슬리 동화 간슬리게 되려나 그래서 미기 옹보 되기 근데 매도를 인적으로 통화이나 통화도 안에 될래야 남사 매도 치면 똑바로 끼고라 되는 똑바로 끼도 매도디 안 될래야 안 소화 되랑아 지리고라 당보 소화 되와 매도 인적으로 선배에서 소화 되랑아 이거라 난 되네 당보 대화를 시시 난 되네야 디 매도 지비 똑바디기 다 될래야 되냐기 지금 봐 대바로 숙체셔서 될래야 된 매도들이야 착바로 시기용으로 디 똑바디기 매도라 착바디 숙체셔로 되네 착바디 숙체로도 되네 매도디 라야게 돈달아야 하는 것 가지고 될래야 제가 착바지도 착바코로 단 착바한자 디바로 책으로 와 배주지 배나가지고 다 되네 시나리오도 배나가지고 미로시나 배네 기로시네다 기디기 아주 통화도 기기 넘겨도 빠지 게 전부 양아줄이야 소자가 용서 되는식 통화도 안에 수국디 미기 셰바디 디 통도 남상한 저기 미기 셰바 통화의 수국디 기 넘겨도 지면 똑바시키고 그래 똑바디기 안 키들이야 미드베 남바로시다 콘나야기 콘르디 딩고르다 콘디 콘르디레고 제자데 숨을 막히바 차야다 되니 키디기 배 전부진의 휴구디기 유지 배 가고 휴구 지야도 미기 통화도 안딜람사 똑바디기 미기 통하게 키 남주 야고돼야 돼 증거로 봐 증거도 내내기 똑바디기야 예 듬바디야 키딜이야 착배가 거부로 차바로 끼고 진짜 내내 현상 미기 통하게 키 남주디 누가 아직 통보했나 내가 때는 똑바디 미기 키 남주 두부 통하게 진제 내가 때는 아주 컨트롤해야 돼 세마기벌이야 차거래 진짜다 키르기네 배네 남주지 야고 통하나 안 내가 때는 아주 똑바디야 남주 야보지면 똑바게도 네 긴지는 아주리아 안지 가위 남주 소와 대위 남주지 똑바데라 총된게 소와디 대화로 실리고 되네 현상 먼저 미기 통하게 유되라 야고지 통하나 내가 되는 아주 되기래야다 직접 가라라래야다 소와 대화래야 유 남주디 독자로 통하는 내가 되는 소소리 셈마기워를 이제 똑바디 진유도 똑바디 거기 소와디야 마기워를 차야다 진짜 되네 이제 미기 통하게 유되라 라리고 진짜 미기 통하게 유되 땅님도 통화했는데 와 그저 코로나와다 거기는 가 땅님도 때는 똑바디야 땅님 좀 받을 리가 맞다 똑배기 진에 소와디야 땅님 좀 받을 리가 말해 땅님 집에 기지만에 로바를 통구에나 공화들에 휴고 요거 왜 지금 말해 소자 연구 말아 지금 코로나로 기지 통해도 미기 통해도 거의 땅님으로 통하러 왔는 거지 저도 이 똑바 집에 땅님이 와도 증거 말이네 디네자 소화되는 저 가라라다 아니 대라라 요요 말에 아니 마치 와요 요요 말 진짜 디네 이제 미기 왕부의 셰바디게 수기 유디 통도 유기 넘바디 간이 통위나 델라든 똑바디에 넘바 대진비 통에 안 딜량한 저 소화라 아니 가와나 미가와나 디네 소화 야도 개발 모래시래
We all have the wish to experience only happiness and to be free of suffering and problems, and we continuously engaging in activities to bring about happiness and to be freed or to remove, to eliminate suffering. So through understanding this process here, we can come to understand what leads to, or the process that leads to happiness and or alternatively suffering. So in other words, through understanding this topic well, we understand our inner workings, the workings of our minds that much better, and thereby how to, and that will lead to a greater, enabling us to strive for the minds that we do want to experience. So wanting happiness, wanting to be freed of suffering, we will seek out seeing beautiful things, for example. So we stay with our flower, and we see a beautiful flower, and seeing this beautiful flower means we have a visual sense direct perception of the flower, and immediately following this are a variety of conceptual consciousnesses, including a feeling of pleasure or a feeling of happiness. And then, likely to come very close to this, is a feeling of attachment towards this, towards the object, towards flower. So here we see this process of from the direct perception, this is then followed by a variety of conceptual consciousnesses, including the desired feeling of pleasure, but then also the mind of attachment. Alternatively, if we're walking along and an aggressive dog approaches us, it's maybe snarling and barking, then we become aware of this through our sense direct perceptions, probably our eye and our ear sense direct perceptions. Following these come a variety of conceptual consciousnesses, such as perhaps anger or anger or minds of that type towards the dog. So again, following from our sense direct perceptions come these variety of conceptual consciousnesses here, such as anger. But if on the other hand, the dog suddenly recognizes us and then wags his tail and yelps with joy, then we perceive this with our sense direct perceptions, again possibly our ear and our ear sense direct perceptions. Following that come a variety of minds, conceptual consciousnesses rather, such as attachment. Perhaps this is our dog or anyone's dog, and we feel a sense of attachment towards it. And likewise, when we see objects which would be classed as neutral objects, then these are perceived with direct perception, and then the feeling that arises wouldn't be one of pleasure or displeasure, but a neutral feeling. So what we're seeing here is this process that through direct perception, sense direct perception, follows a variety of conceptual minds, and that then includes minds such as pleasurable feelings, suffering feelings, neutral feelings, minds such as other factors such as attachment, or other consciousnesses such as attachment and anger and the like.
창동으로 동미도 로로 제공부 용고로와 제공하고로와 지난 내년자 제공부 로로 신데 대창 동바데 디마 캔자 가서 조 캔자로 주는 똑바디게 조 캔자 신데 델리안 똑바디 가르쳐선 델리아 되범에바 남바로시 이 미디어바시 남바지도 고 아니 제만에 어디 먹어야 돼 지샤고로와 아니 아직 창동도 조라지 신보라지 제려 원보디게 조하시면도 똑바디게 조하디 바지 지진요데 데네야 초와데 진짜 대랑라게 데네 똑바딩아 좀 데네게 템바디게 똑바 템바디 디 조데 야네 양도 제도 템바디야 슉 뉴발 마소나 슉 쳇셔도 데네고 창게 조딜이야 되버 슉 쳇셔도 진창 동야디야 되버 슉 쳇셔데는 창망마 동야 차야디 데네 차고래 제가 데네 인자 안주기 로 묘위게 지시 될라 때네 로진베 똑바지게 디 똑바디게 로진요데 야네 야도 조들이야 야고를 쉬베네 디 야네 야도 되버게지 되버디 코 야네 야도 제 야네 야도 제 야네 야도 아주 곰자세들와다 야네 야도 야네 제디 삼로도 슈셔던 거로와 제상한테 창 조데 야네 야도 제베 델야 삼로도 슈셔셔 주고래 제상 삼로 슈셔셔 줘반자 고 동야데 많이 망아 동임 주고로와 디네자 아두스네 강아태야 유아야 디네 용고로와
Let's say when one has a drink something, then one experiences the taste of what one is drinking through the taste sense power, and then follows the taste sense sense direct perceiver, and then come the variety of conceptual consciousnesses. And if the taste of this of what one is drinking is quite awful, then a suffering or an unpleasant feeling will arise, and the thought, the conceptual consciousness will arise. I never want to drink this again. One sip was enough. On the other hand, if one has a beer and this tastes kind of nice, then the feeling of happiness or pleasure, this arises independent of on this taste sense direct perceiver. And having this resulting feeling of happiness, then one is likely to have other conceptual consciousnesses recalling that nice taste that led to the happy feeling, and long to have that happy feeling again, that came about in dependence on that nice taste. And if one then thinks again and again and again about having a beer so as to have that nice taste, so as to feel happy, the wish to do so will grow ever stronger, or the attachment for that will grow ever stronger. So this is how our memory consciousnesses and our feelings all arise in dependence on direct perception, sense direct perception. And this also works in say meditation. So when we're meditating on something, one is always encouraged to repeatedly engage in meditation on the same topic so as to strengthen one's familiarity with the object. So this works with a virtuous object that one is meditating on. But if one is recalling an object of attachment, such as that beer, and recalling it again and again, the wish for that beer will grow ever stronger. So what we see here is the process of the conceptual consciousness, how it can strengthen our recollection, our understanding of how it can strengthen our recollection of the object through reflecting on it again and again, or recalling it again and again.
Topati Yana Yadu, the Chitamini Boka, the Yana Yadu, Chicken, the Jamba, the Yana and the Jamba Shusher, Kondo Shusher, then all that Dingali did in the number Mama here, didn't Manzulia, Kondo Shusher, and Bill Tuwajad, and your right line, Kangaroo, Diligo, and the names are Najiki. Lamiki, Manaji, Yamlinje, Tango, do Susia said, Jackie Koyodu, Navi Shepherd, how Koyodu, didn't talk about the Yana and the Jayadu, didn't Anjuki, Yamlinje, to go make a top of Shusher, and to Pando Chair, and the Chagor.
Where this is also very important in terms of achieving happiness and avoiding suffering, is to understand how this process in relation to our ear sense direct perceiver, because through this door we can and do experience many problems, but also great happiness. So for example, if we hear an unpleasant sound, so someone speaks to us in an unwanted way or says something unwanted to us, then we hear this through an ear sense direct perceiver. This is immediately followed by a variety of conceptual consciousnesses, including saying that this is an unpleasant sound, an unwanted sound. And then when one thinks about this again and again, especially if it dominates our mind, then feelings, then anger arises, and resentment may even arise. So a variety of thoughts like this may well follow. So in this way, through our ear sense direct perceiver and its resulting conceptual consciousnesses, great suffering can come, great mental torment can come. But through a similar process, but based on a very different observed object condition, the teachings of the Dharma given to us by a teacher. This is something that we... This immediately arise a variety of conceptual consciousnesses, and if we utilize those consciousnesses to think again and again and again about what one heard, great benefit comes to us, because we're developing ever stronger familiarity and understanding with what was taught. So through this process, our ear sense direct perceivers can lead to great suffering or great benefit.
Then all the meeting, all the shares on said, Chawake, Congress, Kaburwa. 미기 잘라로 직수로 직 다마람 통 매배나 오코 알는 놈이 되네 대성아 제성해야 돼 델리아 코로나요 말에 어딘 되네 닝지고도 선데네 잡아야요 말에 로용 말에 용 말와 디나시 로다 왕비기 유 가르나 마통 왔네 델라미비 잡아야랑 코로나야 주는 용 말와 되네 매반장 지금 안주기 강한 제해디 간스 연구도 세대 나가서 하고 고고에디 가르스네 미기 넘주다 델레 따바네 데니기 넘주도 누제드네 델레 데네 코로 연구도 선비게 삼로 데네 연구어레스 잠미냐 바데네 고요데 델레 데네 가서 코로나야다 잡아야다 데네 연구어레스 데네 로르지 뇽에도 로 델레 데네 잡아야다 데네 연구어레스 용하디기 잡아 용하다 코로 용하디기 데네 연구도 선비게 네서 세우지 하고 봐야나 지상 안주게 냠는 지도 갑라 가르스 왕비고 고담바세 왕비고 고담바세 시고라 왕비고 고담바 왕비고 고담바스는 고잡발에 고잡발고 지상 강발을 마서는 고잡샤바이나 데네야 미용아마 기내심을 수이나 용아야마 고잡샤 데나심 위델이야 차바기위는 차바 율파이 믹대교 말에 제다 차바 위계에서 차바 율을 믹마다시 샤샤바이나 델이야 유 차바 유디 진배 똑바끼기 말해 똑바마게서 차바끼기 말해지 세상 잠민년 바로 차고 콘랑 거는 디데리 genyo 말해서 만년 바샤고 그래서 세상 잠만년만나 다이 뭐뭐 이기고 말 가샤바 세상 되는 인자 되는 똑바디게 잠민년 버지면 똑바디 맞게 완자 되는 콘라야다 용고 말해 세상 되는 인자 옹부 거담 바시디 세상 되는 인자 안주기 미기 옹부 차바끼기 율이야 옹부디게 차상 안에 까고레스 냠는지 지선 디가바 있나 니기 차바 똑바끼기 말해 똑바마게디 차발리기 말해서 콘롤리기 말해 차발리기 지선 뇽모끼기 말해 지선 뇽모 맞게 봐나 소설의 시대 연구를 지선 당 안주 옹부디 가화초를 땅 거서는 개위초라 땅 거지 근데 송제냐다 누구 제야라 소바당 내가 저기 냐다 되게 돌다 봐나 될 때는 나중에 삼로 똑바디게 디 개위초가 똑바디게 디 권도 필요 나중에 되게 공부해서 진짜 되는 인자 나중에 원부 고단 바시디 되는 원부 고단인데 원부 가래랍니다 미 원부 내유 지용 류유 원부스 되는 원시디게 계치고 말해서 그래 원시 맞지 봐는 디치스도 똑바디 말해서 and 나중에 두스네 대소 계침보라 제거래.
So hopefully in the presentation thus far, it's you're seeing a clear progression in terms of how our conceptual thoughts such as attachment or anger, happiness or suffering arise. So this progression starts with an object, it's followed by a sense power, it's followed by a sense direct perception, and it's followed by a variety of conceptual consciousnesses. So these four stages. Or if one prefers, we can say there's the observed object condition, there's the empowering condition, then there's the sense direct perceiver, and the variety of conceptual consciousnesses. So this progression needs to be very clear and then reflected on, because this is the progression that results in or ends in one experiencing happiness or suffering, attachment, anger, and so forth. So this is important to know this well, and it's a Tibetan expression that one needs to close the door of one's sense powers. So we had the analogy earlier of a house with 6 doors, and in order to secure that home, all 6 doors have to be locked. So similarly, we need to close our sense powers to what results in suffering. Because if the sense power is blocked, then one will not, if for example an ear sense power, one will not hear anything. If the eye sense power is blocked, one will not see anything. So the meaning is, it's through seeing a desirable object that and having the eye sense power, that is, one can directly perceive that object and results in a variety of conceptual consciousnesses, including attachment. Similarly, it's through, for example, hearing something unpleasant, maybe someone speaking to one in an unwanted way. It's through that is the object, and then one has the ear sense power, resulting in the ear sense direct perception of what was said, that leads to a variety of conceptual thoughts, such as over-conceptualization, anger, and a variety of mental disturbances. So this is how we experience suffering. Well, this is what leads to the arisal of minds of suffering, such as attachment and anger, feelings of suffering. So what we need to do is close these sense powers, which means turning away from these objects that lead to this result. And rather, we need to put our attention on objects of virtue. So, for example, if one removes oneself from situations where one hears unpleasant speech that leads just to attachment, or rather anger arising within us, but rather listens to Dharma teachings, then the object is the Dharma teachings, which one hears through one's ear sense power, and then one has an ear sense direct perceiver leading to a variety of conceptual consciousnesses, and then one, having heard the Dharma teachings, one is able to think about them, analyze them, reflect on them, and recall them again and again, gaining ever greater familiarity, leading to happiness. So through this process, through coming to understand this process, reflecting on it, and then applying it to all 5 of these sense direct perceivers, then one turns away from the objects that will lead to the afflictions arising, that leads to the results of suffering, and rather the mind is able to abide in peace. The mind is able to naturally relax, become peaceful, and become calm.
Dini zang zu toba jie wang bui guo dan ba xie di, jizang dini zang zu gi wang bui xie ba, zai nian ba la dini, jizang nian ba la dini toba jie du toba de la dini nga zu gi dewa da dunga yuan ya dang, da ji wang bui xie bei, ma nga xie de nga zu ji de le de de nyung a lu xi de re de wa da, ma nga de ka ru gu zu nga zu na wei xie ba de ge zha ru qi guo yong de 대리야 자 말아 거요 봐대 지견주 미 견주에서 미디 독자래서 니서 막 거요 나도 미디 뭐 마신 거네 니기 드네치레스네 지견주에 지 망보 암주 거요도 내가 알아서야 미디레 지기 암 대니 견주에 거요 진배 똑바르게 니기 슈견제네 나도 디야네 된데 미디데 독자래서 미디를 양아서 지 코라사야 되는 미디를 견주 제일 이거도 와 진짜 내내서 왜 데니기 초라야 안 당한 주의 디셔야지 샘감 리뷰톤의 시고로 샘감 리뷰로 차고로 지상 안들이야 강아 영화의 샘기 강아 가는 수용구도 강아데 가는 세기도 라요도 지상 데니게 네수 다 말아거나 아니 샘내야 강아 리고래 지상 데니자 샘내 강아 마요야디 당보네 디 다마르데 만년바지 샤샤나 아니 강아데 마야기 참아 야요래시데 당한 주의 미지 가게 매바 당한 주의 미디 미팅 바지 가서야 지금 지 투보자 미디 무슨 바지요 베나 미디 야세 통보는 디 잠버디야 야세 레신의 그디나 콘트의 슈셔저 저디겠지. 근데 지 미들이야지 그러면 함상 가서 지금 마통하지 미마다지 될이야 통하게 체지 맞는 바 니고 삼로코라 마다와 샤샤바는 되네 마통 와이네 되네 삼로디야 길리길리 제루고와 니마 통와이네 길리게 되네 야세 삼로 마호지 아니 콜이야 콜라야 돼 바 뮤샤로 그래. 그래서 데니 인상한 중에 강한 세타로지 데니게 삼당 거야 돼. 계치 못 하고 그러지.
So we're seeing this process that through our sense direct perceivers apprehending their objects, that this variety a variety of conceptual consciousnesses follow, including feelings of happiness and feelings of suffering. So we need to understand this process clear and reflect on it, because we need to come to and reflect on it in relation to all 5 of the sense direct perceivers, and see for ourselves what's leading to happiness, what's leading to suffering. And we'll see amongst, for example, the five sense direct perceivers, some have a greater impact on our happiness and suffering than others. So I think in general we can say odors or smells, they don't have a huge impact on us. But sound, that what we hear, this certainly does. So we need to look at within our minds, come to know, and we need to investigate with a sense of curiosity, come to know ourselves well, and see when anger arises, what was that process that led to it? Desire arose, what was the process that led to it? This should be quite evident to us. That, for example, if we have we regularly are in contact, we regularly meet someone that we have a disharmonious relationship with, someone that we don't get on with. Each time we meet them, even before we interact, immediately memory consciousnesses of our prior engagements arise, and fear and aversion arise within us before we've even spoken. And then we interact, and perhaps, as usual, it doesn't go very well, and our mind is upset. Then we go away from that, and our mind stays dominated by what was once again said. And we're thinking about this again and again, which just leads to this memory of that getting ever stronger, and our anger growing ever stronger. So when we see this in ourselves, and we understand now this process well, remember this expression, that we need to close our sense powers. So what that means is that in a situation like that, where we are not able to skillfully transform the situation, then it's important that we apply the solution of separating ourselves from these kinds of situations, so that our anger does not get more fuel. And then we have chance to slowly over time to dissipate our anger, to weaken our anger, and become more peaceful and change the way we relate to these situations.
dine zanga juge da juge ge samda de dine je da wongbu tiki pa chi dine se ngwe suya da dine ko ngang zu ya kanga setup ya wongbu tiki ti chol ya sungyup che de dire da dine she da shashan diwa de human da tu so chi.
So that's what we've looked at this morning. No, really the purpose of this presentation is for us to gain ever more understanding of our own minds, not in a general way, but in a more detailed way, to see the process that one goes through. And it's with this knowledge and gaining familiarity of that knowledge that we can be skillful with ourselves, and that we can be skillful with ourselves. So we'll stop here then and continue this afternoon. But there's time for some questions. So if you have some questions, sure.
Just that last point that Geshe was making about closing the sense powers. Sorry, I've just quickly formulated this question.
Sure.
It might be a little bit long-winded. In most situations where people don't like dealing with a particular person, they will practice avoidance rather than practicing this, closing their sense powers and maybe dealing with the situation a bit differently. What does Geshe say in relation to that?
Okay, so should people either avoid unwanted contacts or...
Sorry, one step back. So what happens with people who have unpleasant interactions with a certain person? Though mostly, 99.9% of the time, those people will avoid continued interactions with that person that they deem to be too difficult. Rather than applying what Geshe said, that it's in closing the sense powers and relating to that person differently. What does Geshe say about that?
Okay, thank you. Then, sunge konsapu komeso. Then, nato wampo kagures, ne diran dobo keran song ha, di tampechik. Then, yene namge nangching nato michik dan namdu mitumpa yena. Then, kong kari go yogire, kong ta namdu yankyo tuki mare. Deni mimang chewa di chegiore. Yene kerengi kalopde, natsu wampo kagore. Deni kari yagare.
마tun데 야고를 봐야 그 통고 말 그시 통과이나 야네 야도 통과이나 가지고 콩을 마마 세계에서 이 마통화 제의 계신물에서 왕부 가세디 되네게가 미tun바디 마통화시 유니고 마통화 제의 요와디 계신물에서 마요와이나 야네 통과이나 야네 야도 좀 많아 그래서 요베네 디고르데 고 왕부 고가 봐세디 마다와 요와시 그거다.
The meaning of this expression to block one's sense powers is not to ignore what is before one. So, for example, not to look at the person or not to listen to the person, but the meaning is to separate yourself, to avoid. So, like you said, like what most people do. So, when one is not able to transform the situation, then separate yourself from them, remove yourself from such situations. So, avoid them. That is the better solution. Okay. Andy?
Something from yesterday regarding inferential value cognizers. You said that they are mistaken with regard to the So I don't understand the difference between mistaken and incontrovertible.
Good. Okay, so inferential valid cognizer we heard last night is mistaken, but it's incontrovertible. So what is the difference between mistaken and also how can something be both mistaken and incontrovertible? Yeah. Okay. Then dangong jepa kitsema akikola songsong. Then jepa kitsema de milua dang truware. Can you candas milua dang truware?
밀루아 세디
Did you milua dang truware
밀루아 세디 유디 도고와 밀루아레시 추와레 랍나 유데당 디 된지니보데 찍마이 찍부찍양 도바다 나디거래 제가 찍래요 말에는 찍마이네 찍부찍양치 된지데다 고 유니보디 찍부찍양 도바다 나디바 이제 디 진 추와레서
고선 데네 디 똑베 요데 요 응원에래 디 된지 말에
말로 유도에 변이 메로시네 두위 김세지 메통 도고네 메딩원이 여러와 메도고래 이내야 도바델이야 메디기 된지데 메니보디 찍부찍양으로 도바되는 거래 So
the meaning of incontrovertible is that the object is realized, the actual object itself is realized. Mistaken in this context means that because an inferential valid cognizer realizes its object not directly but independent on a reason, it does so through a meaning generality or a generic image, a mental image. So therefore it is mistaken. Because the object is not directly perceived, but it's realized mixed with or through by means of a meaning generality. So that is that it's mistaken. It's direct, it's not direct. The object is realized, the actual object, in the illustration of fire is realized, not a meaning generality of fire. But because the object itself, fire, is not directly realized, but through a meaning generality, a mental image, it is mistaken. So it's mistaken because there is a mental image involved. But the object, fire itself, is still realized. Okay?
But you could be wrong, therefore it could be controvertible.
Okay, so if it is it could be controversial.
It may not be fire.
Okay. Then di lua yina, because the lua sikire.
Lua mare lu malusi.
Di pena ngazo tak de kyun yore. Di tak kyun yana, then di lua re. Pena ngazo dua tongna yini me yo mare pena. Yamane kari.
Man dua yene me yo ba di yoro. Dua yene di me yo re. Ma do me ba yo mar kine. Dua yene me yo bi chabre da.
Lua yina deni di loksere. Mare. Lua yina?
Dua yina se mare. Dua yena me yo gore se.
Milua lua yina loksere.
Mare lua lamna de ma to ba la gro lokshe ngo na la ma ba de lua de wa. Milua la ne yu di to ba de le gro. Yu di to ba de la milua to ba re. Yine to ba yina ya ko na ya di denji nan je ne na wa za di chen ne chu wa re le gro. Ma do yu di to go ro.
Deni Geshe Thubten Rabten de lua yina deni semde karire.
Lua in the Utugo Martin. Japala Lua Unionman, Milua Mato. Kisi Lua Imbane, Utugo, Mari, Udmatomana, Yana, got Nalaman, Chayama, Iju Chagre, Yana, Loche Charure, Kisi Mato.
If it is controvertible, in other words, it doesn't realize its object, then it is not a inferential valid cognizer. Doesn't fulfill the definition. Yeah. So if it is controvertible, in other words, it doesn't realize the object, it's not a valid cognizer, it's not an inferential valid cognizer. It could be a subsequent cognizer, it could be a non-ascertaining awareness, it could be a wrong consciousness, but not an inferential valid cognizer. Okay? Good. Gyato?
Yesterday we skipped past the definition of consciousness, clear and knowing. Knowing, okay, clear. Americans translate that as luminous. Neither clear nor luminous carry any meaning. What does it mean?
Clear is not clear?
Not clear.
Deni Shepakitini. Deni Self-Rikpa. Deni Ripaki Dundaki Hakuchung, Selva Sena, De Dunda Kadere.
Savalana, Jidang Shebi Ranshin Dingatu, the Shewa Nashin, Dama Shore, or that penny, Dama the Sub to Marete, Gansele, Coronia, Utoalia, Rang, Moye Chane, Kyo Malesi or that. In a Delia, Mazu Mato Bigi, Yungurwa, in a session, Ripa Sawa, that. On the Simba Sambana Shinti Laya Kapo de Kajile, Shego Mason Be Master Tamaru, Sangbaru Chiares or that. She's a Shebi Koronga Ranshin Wadi, Be Sewu Tangmas or that. Utoelia.
Go so. Yes, so what does clear mean? It means it's luminous. So there you go. But then at least Gemma did go on to explain a little bit. So he said it is difficult to understand what this means. But to take an illustration, if we think of a reflection in a mirror, if that mirror is clean, the reflection, if it's spotless, then the reflection will be clear. So that's to give an idea, so the reflection will be clear, the object appears clearly. So that is what means clear, that the object appears clearly, faultlessly.
Clearly, as in unmistakenly, it appears.
Clearly, as in unmistakenly, it appears. Okay. Then the matrulwa selwa yina, then matrulwa nangi yorabe.
True, I didn't go Korong or the Sawari, the Delia Ropa Ginchine. Jin Shanda called True and Gorua, True and Gorua. Carasene, Delia, Dunjinaya, that is with Dado Jubana, Bacha, Shuk Capture. Korong de la, Menayang, Shanda, Jin Shanda, Shukin Capture, and True and Gor. Benanzo, one share Delia, Corona in the Karachik in the Jik Toy, Gyomar, in a Labudu, named the Umbo de la Gyunchi, the D. Gyunji, Chene, Yeni Tonya Chegro. Some Corona. Yuding on the Toyagi, Jackie Menaya, Shen Jin Shanda Wangi, Korea, and the Chua.
In the Pets and Denangla, Darung Saware, Yinikun Dramada Yore, Jixan, True.
Shanda, True Unguris, Carson, Jin Shandagi, Jin Chase,
True Yungide, Yini Darung Saware. So this is the definition of consciousness, that which is clear knowing. So we can say it's the essence of consciousness, the entity of consciousness, is that it's clear and knowing. So that means the essence of consciousness is always clear. But consciousness may be mistaken due to other influences, such as imprints. Or pressing on your eye, two moons appear. The essence of consciousness remains clear, but it's clearly mistaken, but that is due to outside influence. Okay, good. Chikyanka? Yes?
So, with regard to valid awareness, say I have a realization of the cup in the first moment, it's valid, and then the subsequent awarenesses. On the second day, I see the cup. Is the first moment new,
Yes.
or is it subsequent to the previous?
Yes, okay. So we understand with valid cognizers that the first moment is a valid cognizer. All subsequent moments are no longer valid, they're subsequent cognizers. Yeah? The second, but a while later, one sees that same object again. Is that now another valid cognizer, a new valid cognizer, or does it remain a subsequent cognizer? Yeah. Okay. Then tanta pena yulchik tungdu, then de temare, kasi sarpare. Then kechignipa, then temamare, chesere. Sangi nangi sheninga karine yul dedan chikpa yankya tungdu, de tema saparepe yamare chesi chikpurepe.
당보 참마사 왕시에는 참마사부 책을 가서는 아주 고단이도 왕시의 가사로 바 가사로 다 상이 주의 이세네 아직 주도 왕시 그 사와시키 연구를 버지디 참마네.
Okay, cosa. Then di sapo cosa? Then in pena na kekil chepi kabla pageta then kerangla ta then pageta kerangata. E karine kerangla ta du de chemarepe.
디 참마마를 지시해.
Di chesere. Okay. So I understand this. What I'd say is that when you first see the object, like you see it now, it's a valid cognizer. Then when you see it a few days later, it would again be a valid cognizer. This is because when you go to sleep, all your valid cognizers, I don't know, I forget the term, but anyway, they're all dissolved. So yeah, they're no longer manifest. So therefore, when you see it again later, it's a valid cognizer. But if you see the same thing repeatedly, for example, my question was, I'm sitting here, I sometimes look at the audience, and then I look at Genla. So I'm seeing Genla many times. Is each time I see him newly a valid cognizer? And he says, no, that would be a subsequent cognizer. So I look at the audience, I look at Genla again, subsequent cognizer, not a valid cognizer. Okay. Sure.
Can two sense direct perceivers both be valid cognizers in the same moment?
In the same moment.
Seeing and hearing?
So can one have two valid sense direct perceivers in the same moment, such as seeing and hearing? Now so kari thanks. Then ato ngunsum gitsema de kari ngunsum gitsema ni dang namdu yosekirepe pena ta dang nyen ni dang namdu ngunsum gitsema 왕포 영식하면 니다 남도 디 두측바
연구를 나 가시 연구 말해 가시 연구를 돼 네가 연구를 가시야 믹다디가 암초도 고마도 가시기 미기 토야다 암초고 네가 하고도 연구를
Yes and no. In that both are possible. So you can, for example, see and hear at the same time, but you can also see but not hear at the same time. So both are possible.